Good morning. Can you all hear me?
Yes, KD. Good morning.
Yes,
Very
KD.
good morning, sir.
Yes,
morning,
KD.
KD.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Good
everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome, welcome,
Morning,
welcome.
KD.
Good morning.
Good morning, KD.
All in just a minute, please. Sharing my screen. Okay, sir. Shall we get started?
Yes, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Today I see more people on camera, which is nice. And gradually we will see even more people on camera. Rahul Kamble, no audio. So my audio is good.
Yes, we are able to hear you.
Yeah, I'm just double checking with Rahul. Rahul says that there is no audio. Could be a challenge with. So all others are able to hear me. All in all, good. Okay,
Yes, KD.
then
Yes,
let's-
KD, we can hear you.
Sure, sir.
Yes,
Then let's get started. No more delay. Give me a minute, please. I'm sharing my screen. Just give me a minute.
Hello.
I'm sharing my screen. Yes, Rahul, we can hear you.
Hello.
Yes, Rahul, we can hear you. Just a minute, please. Give me a quick minute. Going off camera. Just a minute.
Hello.
Okay, sorry, sir. Now let's get started. Bear with me for a minute more. Just a minute, sir. Excuse me a minute more. Okay, sir. Welcome back. Good morning. Now we are starting. So yesterday we had an introductory talk. We will continue the topic from there, right? Requesting everybody, if you can make it to camera, because from next week onwards, it is almost mandatory to be on camera. And so my sincere request to all of you again, without camera, there cannot be a connection. I will not know whether you are listening to the class or not, point number one. And if I speak without camera, you will not know what I am saying without an expression. How's this? Shall I continue class like this? How's it? Wonderful, right? There will be no connections. Only audio can never make it interactive. So my sincere request to everybody, as many people as I can, I'm back. So as many people as I can, my sincere request is please be on camera. Okay. And so if you are married, if you have kids, then you will know the pains of the online schooling that we went, right? The kids not being on camera, teachers telling continuously, come on camera, come on camera, come on camera. And you know what kids did, right? Roaming around the house, not listening, not staying focused. So we do not want that to happen with us. That thing should not happen here, right, sir? And as much as you can be focused, that much is better. And so still, we are in the introductory phase. We are doing warm-up. We are not even deep into the technical, which we will hardly start in a few days from now. Okay, so requesting all, as many as you can, to be on the camera. I know how to bring you all to camera, but let's not use those hard methods. Those are to be used later. Okay, so with that being said, yesterday we were talking about some small story, right, sir? And I have shared my screen. Let me know once you see my screen shared. I hope you are seeing it now. Okay. So, as you know, this is the journey that we discussed yesterday. SQL Server 2005 to SQL Server 2019. SQL Server 2005 is one of the oldest versions of SQL Server. SQL Server is a database, first of all. It's a database. A lot of people use this database. 2005 is the oldest version. 2019 is the latest version. This year, 2022, one more version is coming up. Okay, so we had that discussion yesterday. We started talking. Why did Microsoft make something called SQL Server? Microsoft was absolutely a database. It was not a database company. Microsoft was never a database company. Microsoft from the beginning was into operating systems, Windows, right? Windows and all that operating system. They were more applications, softwares. They were into that. They were never into the database business, right? So what happens? Story we discussed yesterday. I did a short discussion. Today, I'll make it fast. So in the year 1985, old story, 1985, Microsoft and IBM came together. At that time, IBM was a big company. Microsoft was a small company or maybe a growing company. IBM gave an opportunity to Microsoft. They worked together on something called operating systems. That was called as OS2 or maybe operating system /2. That was the name of the software. They developed it, sir. All went good. For 2 years, they worked very hard. And then finally, 1987, they wanted to release it somehow. IBM sold with the database free. Microsoft said, I don't know, this was the news that came out, but exact news, we don't know what challenges came up. But anyways, IBM sold the database free with the operating system. They said, if you purchase IBM's OS2, you will get database free. If you purchase Microsoft OS2, no, nothing free. So people will get attracted to free, right? So then somehow IBM stole the deal there. So IBM, this is the operating system they made. Okay, and IBM somehow stole the deal. And Microsoft probably did not like it, and they sued them. They put a case on them, and they settled it outside the court. Okay, this story already clear, right? Yesterday we had a discussion. Yes, everyone? Okay, done. Then what happened? So Microsoft wanted to teach, I don't know if you want to say teach a lesson or Microsoft wanted to not revenge, but prove itself even more. So they started to venture with another company. Microsoft connected with a company called Sybase. Sybase was another database company in the market at that time. Okay, Microsoft said that, hey, I will work with you. So why did Microsoft choose database only? Because IBM gave database free. So they wanted to prove themselves in the database area also, and to show that I'll make a better database than yours. So Sybase and Microsoft joined together hands, and they made SQL Server. Then SQL Server evolves. So almost you can say the first version of SQL Server. I mean, this is a history. Okay, I'll move on, sir. I'll go to one direct slide. All these are versions of SQL Server. Okay, directly I'll show the version slide. Yeah, this one, sir. The first version of SQL Server is 1.0, which came in the year 1989. So SQL Server, the software that you all are learning, the database that you all are learning, the first version came in 1989. So this goes back to, how many years has it been? Mathematical experts?
33.
33 years, correct. So 33 years of the software that you are learning now is 33 years old. Old in the sense, started then. History of 33 years. Okay, done. Oracle, can somebody tell me, when did Oracle start? First version of Oracle, which year? Or you want to Google and tell? If you want to Google and tell. Oracle's first version, which year? You should have found the answer by now if you're Googling.
1979.
Yeah. So Mohit said 1983.
1979.
Akshay says 1979. So Oracle was founded in 1979. You said found, sir, or you said first software release, first the Oracle software?
First version.
First version. Okay. If you found a link, can you share in the Zoom, please? Zoom chat. If there's any link that you found, can you please share in the Zoom chat? Okay, so anyways, so Oracle is little elder to us, experienced than us, because SQL Server started in 18, and moreover, sir, SQL Server Microsoft did not start SQL Server. Microsoft ventured, joined hands with Sybase company. So it's actually a Sybase product. Okay, so our history goes back to Sybase. And then, okay, fine. After that, 1.1 came, 4.2 came, 4.2a, 4.2b, 6.0, 6.5, 7.0, 2000, 2005, 2008, 8R2, 12, 40. By the way, so one second. So in the year 2014, did you see one more benchmark year for Microsoft? In the year 2014, they created Azure SQL database, meaning cloud database. This we'll discuss in future in the classes. So they created cloud database in which year? 2014. But wait, sir. No. 2010 actually, not 14. In 2010, they gave the first release of cloud database. Sir, I mean, if you are getting confused, what is cloud database? Obviously, a database in the clouds. You can directly access without anything. Just database in the cloud. No need to install SQL Server. No need to do anything. The database is available on the cloud. You can directly access, store data, read data, anything you want to do. So 2010, they introduced the first cloud version. 2014, they have introduced the second cloud version. That means in all these versions, they also have released cloud version of SQL Server. I will show you demos later. You will also do the demos later. That's also SQL Server 2014, 16, 17, 19. These are, and finally 2022 coming up. So are you all clear? So I'll not waste time. Yesterday we discussed about this. So any more questions anybody have here? So this is the versions of SQL Server. If somebody asks you versions of SQL Server, always start with 2005 because that is a benchmark year, a golden era, or a recognition year, or a, I don't know whatever adjectives or names you want to use, but it's a benchmark year for Microsoft. People started recognizing SQL Server with value after 2005 itself. So by the way, I told you, right, I started my career with 2000, SQL Server 2000. At that time, sir, if somebody asks me, they normally ask, right, IT people, when you meet another IT person, what is your technology, right? Common question. When I say SQL Server, nobody used to recognize. But then I thought, okay, let me say Oracle. I used to say I'm an Oracle DBA. Because telling them there is a software called SQL Server, Microsoft software, all that was painful. So then everybody understands Oracle at that time. So I would say 2005 onwards, it gave identity. Now everybody knows it's a famous software. People know SQL Server is #1 database in the market. Any more questions? Can I move on? Okay. So you know versions now, nothing much to say. Code names we already discussed yesterday, sir. Code names. So if you can see the names here, Yukon, Katmai, Kilimanjaro, Denali. And by the way, so Kilimanjaro, I think is each one of us is monumental because there are rivers or lakes or hills or in US, sir, actually. So Kilimanjaro is some, Denali is a river, I think. I don't know, we just need to Google. But Helsinki, so Seattle. So all these are some code name Microsoft follows. Not an important thing. Let's move on. So what is SQL Server? SQL Server is a database software. SQL Server is a database software. How many database softwares we have in the market? Oh my God, too many. So what is a database software? So database software typically helps you to store data, to retrieve data. So if, for example, you went to, I don't know, nowadays I'm saying DMart more because DMart from COVID times, sir, has grown like anything. 1,000 stores, maybe more. And yeah, I mean, you know it. DMart is growing faster. So let's say you went to DMart and DMart is managing all their databases because every customer that goes and purchases a product has an invoice, bill. Every bill is stored in the database. Inventory, meaning how much of stock they have. Stock information is stored in another database. There will be a stock database. There will be a billing database. There will be a customer database. So there will be different types of databases that DMart will have. Yes or no? All billing database, meaning whatever invoice, whatever purchase you are making, sir, that goes into billing database. How much stock is there and all goes into stock database. So they manage every organization, not only DMart. So for example, you go to cafe coffee day. So you purchase something there, that is also going into database. So everything that we do in the world goes into database somewhere. Unless and until some grocery store you went, they don't have databases. That's a different story. But typically every transaction that we do, sir, all bank transactions that we do, every bank transaction goes into bank's database. So storing data in the database is common. So SQL Server, so please listen. SQL Server is a product of Microsoft. Originally comes from Sybase. SQL Server has got, so I think I showed this picture yesterday also. Again, I'm showing. So rather than showing in this order, I will show you in an easier order. Let me go to the next slide. So SQL Server is not just a database. That is what I was telling yesterday. Don't think that SQL Server is database. Correct, sir. SQL Server is database. But other than database, SQL Server has got many things. In this course, we are not covering all that. Remember, in this course, it's purely database only. But I just want you to know. Sir, Oracle also, right? Oracle. Talk to any Oracle DBA. Oracle is not just a database software. Along with database, there are many things you can do in Oracle. Many things you can do. Take SAP, sir. SAP. Everybody understands SAP. At least as a name, you all know SAP. SAP is a software, German software, right? ERP. It's a ERP. You can store all your company's data in SAP, right? So SAP also has a database, sir, SAP HANA. SAP HANA is a database. But wait, along with the database, in SAP, you can do many things. So database is not just the only product. Okay, if you're clear there, sir. So in SQL Server, I'll take a notepad. Let me type with you. So SQL Server database services is one product. SQL Server integration services is one more product. SQL Server analysis services is another product. Server reporting services is another product. We call it SSRS in short. We call this SSIS in short. We call this SSAS in short. We don't call it SSDS, but if you want to call it, you can call it. So these are the four main products inside SQL Server. And in our course, we are exclusively focusing on database services. Of course, SSAS is a separate job. Somebody wants to work on analysis services. They have to learn that course. It's a separate course. And somebody wants to work on SSIS. They have to learn that as a separate course. And somebody wants to learn reporting services, has to learn that as a separate course. And all these three things, analysis services, integration services, and reporting services, all these three things are together called as. Some of you know the answer.
Business tools.
Business intelligence, BI. Yes, BI. They just call it BI, business intelligence. So that means, those three things are called as BI. By the way, sir, Oracle also has OBI, Oracle Business Intelligence. They also have those tools. SAP BI. So, I mean, I don't know if you want me to show you this. SAP BI. Just Google for SAP BI, sir. Business intelligence software. So like what we have in SQL Server, sir. What do we have in SQL Server? SSAS, SSR. Sir, I'll give me 2 minutes. I'll tell you what is SSAS. I will tell you what is SSRS. I will tell you what is SSIS. We will talk. Before we do that, I'm just showing you that SAP also has BI. And wait, sir, just go to here, search Oracle BI. Oracle also has business intelligence tools. Okay, or you type, sir, Microsoft BI. Okay, Microsoft, okay, Power BI you ignore, but normally, sir, Microsoft BI tools. I'm sorry, I think I should type BI tools. Okay, sir. So technically, whether it is Oracle BI, SAP BI, that means you all are getting what I'm saying, right, sir? Don't think that all these companies are selling only database. Simply selling database will not give you any revenue, not a lot of revenue. Along with database, there are a lot of linked products that goes in the market, whether it is Oracle, whether it is SAP, because these are the three main players in the markets, main three players, Microsoft, Oracle, SAP. You join any company, maximum these three will definitely be there. Is somebody saying something? You have any comments? Please feel free. No? Okay, that's so then yeah.
MSBI is nothing but MSSQL products of business intelligence. These SAS, SSIS, RS is called MSBI. Yeah?
Yes, exactly.
I heard.
So you're right. So Microsoft Business Intelligence, in short, it is called as MSBI. So when somebody says MSBI, SSAS, SSIS, SSRS, these three will come under MSBI. So MSBI is a separate job, meaning somebody must learn this course separately and work on it. Correct. But our course is not about MSBI. Our course is about core databases. So our job will be exclusively on databases. So but again, Sandhya, as you asked this question, let's say, Sandhya, you went for an interview. And in an interview, they're asking you MSBI based questions. For example, you will openly tell that I am not an MSBI expert or knowledge. I'm learning, but I don't know it much. So again, in our course, we will talk about a few things. No, I'm not saying all, but few things I will show you, sir. Like excuse me, like SSIS. I will show you a small demo on SSIS in future. We will talk, but again, all in all, MSBI is not our job. Any questions? Okay.
Clear.
Perfect. Now let's go ahead and let's understand. Sir.
Like, one question here.
Yes, please.
Do we conduct any courses regarding the BI?
We in KDSSG, you mean, sir? Right. We do not have BI specific trainings because we believe like when we are not strong on it, we do not touch it. So, so it's and again, sir, this involves programming also. Everyone, when you are specifically on MSBI, sir, you need to know programming. Specifically, coding is important because you write code and you join the packages, you create packages, you integrate it. First of all, sir, everyone, for your understanding, let's talk what is each. So let's start with database services first, our core area, right, sir? So database services is nothing but where you store your actual data. Our data is stored in database services. Okay, sir? Now, it's also called as OLTP. OLTP, online transaction processing, meaning, sir, mainly databases will be used for online transactions. So bank transactions that you do, maybe invoices, some billing purchases that you do at the DMart or any store, sir, or Cafe Coffee Day examples that I gave. So whenever you do transactions on that, sir, they all will be stored in databases. So definitely I can bet and tell every bank that you are doing transactions with, latest data, like this month, last month, up to 1 year, 2 years, latest data will be stored definitely in the dash. Core databases. By chance, if HDFC bank is using, so we don't know which bank is using what database product. Let's example, let's say that HDFC is using SQL Server. So they will store all the transaction data, regular transactions that you do in typical databases. So SQL Server Database Services, SSDS. Okay, who are our competitors? So Oracle, as I told you just now. Sybase was our friend, but now a competitor. DB2, Postgres, Ingress, Teradata, MySQL, SAP HANA, and the list goes on. I mean, the list can be too long. These are the databases we have in the market. And so there are some NoSQL databases also. So as of today, don't worry about NoSQL databases. Anybody here with some NoSQL backgrounds? Anybody in the class? At least a minimum NoSQL background?
I don't have background, but I know bit of information about
Okay, so I'll show a demo to all of you what is a NoSQL database in future, not at all now. In level 2 we will discuss. So MongoDB, Cassandra. So by the way, Facebook that you are using, we all use Facebook. So all the like, share, comments that you put on the Facebook post, everything also is stored in databases. But Facebook doesn't need SQL Server. Okay, Facebook needs a database called Cassandra, uses a database called Cassandra. Those are NoSQLs, meaning, see, Kumaraswamy posted one picture on Facebook. Let's say Karthik also posted one picture on Facebook. Kumaraswamy has posted a picture with Disha Patani. Okay. Whereas Karthik posted a normal picture. So definitely the likes and shares will be different for both. Right, sir? Definitely difference will be there. So what I'm saying is the columns, the comments that are coming for Kumaraswamy would be completely different from Karthik. So these two, what I'm saying, sir, maybe I can explain better in demos, not now. But in simple words, two posts are not the same. And sir, there is no urgency, right? Kumaraswamy, like, you know, if 10 comments comes, 20 more, 15 likes came, or 25 likes came, 250 likes came, 1,500 likes came. It's okay, sir. I mean, doesn't matter, right? You will check now and then. It's not so critical. You will check when you have time. It's not a burning issue. You will go and check when you want. So those are, sir, those are NoSQL databases. Updates will not be immediate, but there will be some delay. But more about it, I'll talk about in demos, not now. I think I'm not able to give perfect explanation orally, but I can tell you in a demo specifically. But sir, understand, NoSQL databases are not so transactionally consistent as normal databases. They are special databases for special requirement. So there's one more database called Cockroach database, Cassandra, MongoDB, VoltDB. All these are NoSQL. So please understand the reason why I'm discussing this one is at least you all should know there are normal databases. There are also NoSQL databases. Keep in mind more about, they are unstructured. They are called as unstructured. I will show you what is the meaning of structured and unstructured later. Okay. So with that being said, sir, if you all are okay, this is typical databases. SQL Server is a normal database. Oracle also has normal database. SAP also has a normal database. All databases come under database services. Can we move on? Next point, sir. Analysis services. So you accept or not analysis services. That means, Sandhya, we're talking about MSBI now. So analysis services, integration services, reporting, these all come under MSBI, right? So in analysis services, what happens? So you will store historical data, old data. Can I ask you all a simple and silly question, sir? If you go and check, can somebody download 7 years old bank statement from HDFC Bank? Is it possible to download 7 years old bank statement from HDFC Bank or SBI Bank or wherever?
No, it's possible, sir.
Is it possible, Krishna?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. SBI, you're saying? Which bank you are saying?
SBI, sir.
SBI. Okay. So I'm not a good SBI user. Please excuse me. If you go to HDFC Bank, sir, normally in HDFC Bank, there is an option. If you want 7 years old statement, okay, there are two options, sir. Less than 5 years and greater than 5 years. If you want more than 5 years statement, you have to put a request. Then the statement will be made in a PDF format and emailed to you. You cannot directly download. Last 1 year, 2 year, 3 year statements you can download. They call this as historical statement, old statement. So am I saying right, or somebody wants to support me? HDFC users, do you want to support me? Old bank statements you can't download. Why? Because HDFC is doing what? Any data, all transactions older than 5 years or 3 years, every bank have their own rules. Maybe as Krishna said, Krishna, again a question, 10 years old statement can you download from SBI? More than 10 years old? Okay, 7 years, you said it is possible. More than 10 years?
No, sir.
To an extent, I am aware, you have to go to the bank and put a request saying that I want 10 years old statement. I think they are going to charge you for this somehow. And then they will, I think, sir, maybe I'm wrong, but then they will send the statement, they will print, or maybe they will email you, whatever, that all is. So historical statements are, why all banks are doing like this? If banks store all the data in the database, database size will start growing like anything, right? Databases sizes will grow like anything. That's why what they do, sir, all old data, they store in analysis services. Historical. Now, you may have to decide, sir. KD, for banks, what do you mean by old? For HDFC, old means 5 years. Last 5, before anything more than 5 years goes into historical data. So every year, all the companies do this. Every yearly once activity, they will purge. Purge means take all the data from OLTP, meaning database services. Last 1 year data, they will move to OLAP, analysis services. So this is a continuous process. Every yearly once, move all the data. Why are they moving? Because else this database size becomes huge. Performance issues will come up. More customers will feel difficulty. To avoid all this, historical data is managed in analysis services. So I'll take a company called IBM. IBM is a 100 years old company. Do you all agree with me? 100 plus years old company. Tech company. So if last 5 years IBM will manage in database services, and last 95 years data they store in the analysis services. So analysis services is historical data. So helps to manage historical data. It is called, by the way, sir, these are called as OLTP, online transaction processing. These are called as OLAP. OLAP, online analytical processing. Meaning, sir, first of all, why do you want to store old data? Why don't you delete it? No. So later on in future, you want to know how were the sales in 1987? How were the sales in 1995? How were the sales in 2017, 2016? So you want to know old historical information, sir, because that tells the growth of the company. So storing historical, that means, sir, you will use that old data only for analysis purpose, only for analyzing, only for understanding. So database services, latest data, analysis services, historical data. Any questions? So by the way, SQL Server, you have SSIS, Oracle analysis services is available. Maybe name might be different. I'm so sorry. Name might be different. SAP has their own analysis services. Name might be different. Any questions? All the companies in the world do this, storing historical data in the databases. And that historical data is called as analysis services. Any questions? No? Are we good? Can I move on?
Small question,
Yes.
sir.
Yeah.
As per the doc I'm referring, competitors, SSIS and analysis services, like is
Okay.
it a
SSIS is not a competitor. It's our own. Okay. So So if that is the question, excuse me. So let me. I don't want to remove it, but rather I'll take it off from here.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yes.
I felt it many a times, but I never changed it. Okay, let me do this for here also.
Hello, KD.
Yes, sir.
Anil here. So basically, my understanding between the SSDS and SSAS is C. Come to the SSDS, the data is basically stored in database. And coming to the SSAS, the data is stored again when data is exceeding more than 1 year, the storing. So that data is going again to the historical data. Which
I mean, somebody has to. So one point, sir. Somebody has to move it. Meaning, somebody from your company has to move, purge, or archive all that data from database services and keep it in analysis services. So somebody has to do that.
We mean from example from HDFC Bank to some other service provider. Is that correct?
No, HDFC banks internally, sir, in the employees of HDFC Bank who are managing IT. So somebody from application team, somebody from database team, somebody has to do it. So that data archival, meaning, sir, they have to see transaction date. If transaction date is older than last year's transaction dates, all that data will be moved. And again, that's not our job, Anil. In real time, sir, that's not our job. DBAs don't do it. Purging and archiving of data. Purging is done by other. Archiving, this is called as archival, sir. Moving from SSDS to SSAS is typically an archival process. So when you archive, it is done by application teams, sir. Not by you, not by me. It's not a DBA job.
One question. The archival data will remain in the database itself, or it will move to some analysis?
It will be stored in analysis services cubes, sir. They call them as cubes. CUBES, cubes.
Okay.
So analysis services are different type of databases.
Yeah.
Normal database services are another type of databases. They are famous for storing historical data.
Okay. In my current company, the archival and partitioning and compression, all these are done by DBS itself. So
it could be a one-off a scenario where application team support, or maybe it has been pushed to DBA teams. Huh?
okay.
By the way, compression, of course, we have to do.
Okay.
Partitioning, of course, we have to do. But I think only additional work you guys got is doing archiving. That's
okay.
So normally we don't do archiving in a typical process.
We don't do it like physically, but like we have jobs like wherein.
Correct, sir. That means it's an application code. Somebody
right.
has written a code and you are
right.
running it. So I think running it is okay, sir. But you did not write the code, right? How
right.
to archive?
No,
so
we are having some kind of tables wherein we take a date as in column, a filter column, and based on that, like the archival.
But that code was not written by you, right, sir? Code was written by somebody. That's what I'm saying. So archiving is not our job. So deciding which is the old data and new data is application team's job. So they will tell, or maybe they gave you a code and you are running it. Other than that, nothing much. Normally, we don't do it outside. So everyone, moving of data from database services to analysis services is my job. In my company, it's my job is what Rahul is saying. Got it, sir? In other companies, it is not the case is what I am saying. That's all. Okay. So shall we move to the next one, SSIS quickly? Yeah, 2 minutes, we're done. We'll go to the next point and we'll start technicalities. Tomorrow, maybe we'll start SQL Server installation, or maybe day after tomorrow, because I have to tell you licensing also. Yeah, so SSDS, SSAS are done. Now SSIS. Again, so for example, I'll give you a small scenario. So IBM company that we took just now as an example, CEO of IBM comes to database team, comes to me and says that, hey, KD, I want a nice report. So when I say report, a graphical report I want to see from when, sir, the inception, meaning creation of the company till date. I want to see the graph of IBM, meaning every year Sales they want, sir. Sales information. So how was the revenue? So either it was uptrend or downtrend or up, down, he or she wants to see. So CEO of IBM is asking this question to KD. So this is not in KD scope because I am not a developer, right? I'm not an MSBI person. I'm what? I'm a database guy. So I will tell MSBI people to work on this one because it is not our job. Got it, sir? Because preparing a report, showing that data. So now one question here, sir. As per CEO's requirement, can you understand once? As per CEO's requirement, he or she needs what data? They need latest data also, and they need old data also, because 100 years data they want, sir, everything they want, correct? So they want to pull some data from database services. They want to pull some data from analysis services. That means you are getting data from different sources and keeping in one location and then prepare a report. So that is done by SSIS. Did you see the word integration services? Integration, meaning take data from somewhere, take another data from somewhere, integrate. So the whole job of SSIS is taking data. So by the way, one small thing, sir. When IBM started in the year, oldest year, right? 100 years back, right? 1900s. If you go back, at that time, there was no proper computer also. So where did IBM store all that data? Maybe in paper. And so later on, they would have stored Excel sheets. Paper, Excel sheets. So all different types of, nowadays, SQL Server, latest data is present in database services. Old data is present in analysis services. So what I'm saying is, sir, different types of data is there. So SSIS job is take data from every source and keep in one location. So without SSIS, doing this task is impossible. Integrate. SSIS integrates. Why is WhatsApp famous, sir? Because WhatsApp integrates people. Why is social media so famous, powerful? Because it integrates anything that you. Why is Ola, Uber so famous, sir? Because it is integrating drivers and people, consumers. So anything that integrates always works well. So SSIS is integration product, meaning you can pull data from anywhere and store in one location. So yes, I will take from database services, I will take from analysis services, 5 years data from here, 95 data from here, and I will store in SSIS. Any questions, anybody else? So can you see here, ETL means extract, take it from somewhere, extract. T means transform, meaning make some changes to it. L, load means load it somewhere. Now you got the last 100 years data in one place. Now it's easy to prepare a report because you got the data now. Am I confusing or is it clear? Hey, so this has nothing to do with our course, but my only agenda, my only interest here is to tell you that there are many other products inside SQL Server. That's all, sir. I'll close this and go to the next topic in less than 5 minutes. But if you have any questions, ask. Integration services, as the name itself says, it integrates, takes data from different sources and keeps in one location. That's the job of SSIS.
Maybe we can use
sir.
SSIS for building packages also, right? For backups and all the stuff like the DS stuff. Or no?
So as Rahul said, sir, SSIS, one example that I gave is what? IBM wants to access last 100 years data. That is one example. So with SSIS, you can do many magics, many things. So absolutely, Rahul, you can create packages and do whatever you want. Sir. But with SSIS, anything can be done. But again, sir, let's not go into SSIS discussion at all now, because it will cause confusion for many. That's why I'm just holding it off. But sir, let's talk about our requirement now. CEO of IBM has asked 100 years report. With SSIS, I will get latest data. With SSIS, I will get old data also. Both I will keep in one place, extract, make some changes and load. My data is ready. 100 years data is ready. Any questions? That is a job of SSIS. So our competitors are DataStage, MicroStrategy, Informatica, I know some of you, I'm very sure some of you might be knowing these names. And there are many more, sir. I just put some 2 or 3 names only here. Informatica, MicroStrategy, Data Stage are some products. Any questions, please fast. Let's go to the next topic. Last one. Sir, SSRS, as the name says, reporting services. Report. You can prepare some nice visual reports, graphical reports. Nowadays, Power BI has come. SSRS is like Power BI has come, sir, because it is giving some visually wonderful reports that you want to see. So anyways, SSRS is still there. SQL Server products, sir. You can make some nice reports. There are third-party tools. I mean, competitors also, like Crystal Reports, very, very old one. Tableau, I don't know, I'm always struggle to pronounce this properly. Tableau or Tableau or however you call it, sir. But Tableau, and then last one, ClickView. All these are some reporting tools available in the market today. That's all, sir. I don't have anything else to tell. So what are components of SQL Server? So versions of SQL Server are 2005, 8, 8R2, 12, 14, 16, 17, 19, 2022 coming up. Components of SQL Server are database services. We should tell this because it's an interview question. Whatever we are discussing is not waste of time. It's an interview question. What are components of SQL Server? Components of SQL Server are database services, analysis services, reporting services, integration services, or any order that you want to tell. Database services stores the latest data, OLTP. Analysis services stores the old data, historical data. Sorry, given simple words, one line, your own. Ignore all that, what I've written on the screen. So analysis services stores all the historical data. That's it. Database services is technically called as OLTP. This is called as OLAP. And last but not least, integration services, SSIS, is mainly meant for integrating. It's ETL tool. Extracting, transforming, loading. It's ETL tool. It's ETL tool of SQL Server, right? And the last one is reporting services with which you can make some nice visual reports, nice graphical reports.
KD, one small question. Database services is current data it stores, like online transaction processing we said. It's like we are doing it the latest data it is, and analysis service we are using old data, like as you said, like more than 5 years past data. So both are data related. They need a database to store, right?
Absolutely. Both need databases. Both need database, correct.
They will be present on a database only, right?
Yeah, this SS database services data, analysis services data, both go into database. But the difference is database services databases we will talk because our course is all about this one.
Yeah.
Analysis services databases are little optimized.
Okay.
Stored, they are called as cubes actually, Sandhya. Okay, let me show you 1 minute. Okay. SQL Server analysis. They are called as cubes in simple words. See, an OLAP, meaning analysis services cube, also known as multi-dimensional cube, is also one type of database. But remember, it's not like regular databases.
So can we say it's like a storeroom or something?
Exactly. It's like a go down. It's like a warehouse. I think that's why the perfect name for this one is data warehouse. See, for example, Sandhya, you have Amazon. Amazon does it every year. I'm sure all of you know this one, sir. Amazon doesn't sell many products. Amazon
creates a normal shortage.
They have a big warehouse. That is one strategy. But what I'm saying is, let's say Amazon has kept a lot of products. There are so many products which are not sold. They are left in the go down. Do you think Amazon is going to give an offer and sell them again? Definitely not. They don't do that mistake. They will damage, they will spoil and sell them. Not spoil, I don't know, I'm not getting the right word. They will trash it. They trash them. So they trash. So worth of some crores, products worth of crores, they trash and they sell. They just clear from the go down because go down space is also important. So that means, and what they do is one more thing. I know from one of my Amazon friends who works in Amazon, the spacing is also well managed in Amazon. That means old stock goes to the corners itself. I don't know how they are doing it, but so what I'm saying is, it's a warehouse. It's like a go down, as Vineet said. Perfect word. Go down, right, sir? Old data must be stored there, and so adjust the space properly. It's not like normal database. So analysis services cubes are little optimized to store old data. Latest database, old databases, of course, end of the day, all are databases, but they use a different structure, different data structure. Databases use a different data structure. This one we will talk, this one we will not talk.
Okay, just wanted to know, like,
No,
what is the
absolutely.
difference?
Cubes, they are called as cubes, and the data structures are completely different than normal databases. They are not normal databases, that is for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions, sir? So now, tomorrow, what we will do is, so this is little, we don't need to talk. We really don't need to talk. We can skip this and move on, sir. But I don't know, there's somewhere a sense of completeness, somewhere a sense of satisfaction will be there if we talk about it. So we are talking about databases, and we're not talking about ABCDs of databases. Doesn't make any sense. Some of you might be knowing all this. You would have read in your education also, in your academics also. Maybe if you have DBMS paper, database management system paper. Anybody studied DBMS in your college days? Can you please raise hand? Digital hand. In the Zoom, please. Zoom, there's a hand raise option. Krishna Chaitanya, Prajyot, Pratik has given a thumbs up. Hand raise would be better. So thank you. Suresh, Vineet, Sri Pooja. Okay, I'm still counting. Ramesh. So I read it twice, okay? I did not fail the exam, sir, but in my graduation and in post-graduation, twice it came. Okay, done. And you know what my wife says? My wife in her education, she's not a computer background, but I think in BTech, they have this, one of the papers that you have to read, DBMS was one paper in her life. When she read this, she thought like, oh my God, what the hell is this? I don't know how I'll manage this, but she finally passed with that borderline. Okay, and she said that I never expected database will come into my life. I mean, it's me. So but anyways, on jokes apart, on a serious note, she got married to DBMS at the end of the day. So bad on the points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people raised hand. 7 people raised hand, or 8 people. So don't worry, don't think I'm also right. My hand is also raised. But the logic is, we raise hand, you don't raise hand, doesn't make any difference. You read it, we read it, you did not read it, doesn't make any difference because we forgot it. It's not there in our heads anymore. Okay, it's just education paper that we did. So what we will do is, again, not making it boring. It's a huge paper, so it's a 1 semester paper, right? 1 6 months study. Whether we did or not, you leave it, but 6 months of study. So what we will do is tomorrow, let's sit for 1 session. So if you guys don't mind, 1 session. Don't think it's a waste of time, but it is like going back and seeing the roots once. With your approval, if you all agree for it, then I'll go for it, or else I'll skip this chapter itself, topic itself. Or going back and understanding, where did this all start? So what I'm going to tell you tomorrow is this, like, look at this. Where did data start? How it started? What are flat files in those days? Okay. What are word processes? What are spreadsheets? Excel, I have to say. And what's databases? We'll talk about evolutions. See, we started with notepads, we went into spreadsheet, Word documents, spreadsheets, Access, SQL Server. This journeys, I'm talking about this journey. And we'll also talk about what is DBMS, Database Management System. What is DBMS? Who started this? And then we'll talk about hierarchical model, network model, relational model. My friends, remembering we had this in our education days. So hierarchical model, network model, relational model, object-oriented model. So we'll talk about these models also. On a quick notes, I'll not waste time. Again, I'm telling you, we're not going deep, but just revising this topics once. Okay, and then finally, who is what is DBMS? What is RDBMS? Who is father of RDBMS has to be spoken. So because if this guy was not there, there were no jobs. Database itself would not be there. He is the person. Okay, and then sir, that's a small chapter. It's hardly 7-8 slides. Should take half an hour, 45 minutes max tomorrow. Are you okay with this? Then that's. And after that,
Yes,
sir,
yes, sir.
after that, direct installation topic only. So maybe tomorrow we'll not start installation. We'll start installation from Thursday. So first three sessions, I normally leave it for introduction. Then we'll start Thursday onwards installations. Good. Perfect. Then I think we're good for today. Sorry, I was 10 minutes late today. I was like struggling with the Zoom specifically, but normally I will be in class by 6:15, sir. I mean this time. You will see it gradually. Done. I follow timings as much as I can, unless and until I have another batch colliding. But for you, yours the first one that I start my day with you. So there should be no sense of unless and until I get some office issue. But mostly it will not be the case. With that, sir, we are wrapping up for today. Let's see. Any questions anybody have, else will do this. And by the way, somebody posted a question about videos. Yes, they will be there. We'll be sharing with you. But first, the warm-ups finish, then we will share all that with you, sir. This content and all this is introduction, right? So no need to revise them, sir. But later on, as topics start, you can definitely revise. Done. Our material will be in Evernote. That also I will show you. By end of this week, I'll show you how it looks. Thank you. Let's reconnect tomorrow morning. Same time, same place, signing off.
Thank you, KD.
Labs will start next week onwards, sir. Labs will start next week onwards. Keep in mind.
Okay.
You'll have to do lab also, but not now. Let me finish all the installations, show you all the installations. First, 2005, 8, 8R2, 12, 14, 16, 17, 19, all versions I will show you. By the way, normally outside, I mean, any other training firms, they show only the latest version. But what I want you to do is observe the journey, sir. How ugly the SQL Server used to be earlier and how fantastic it is looking now. So I want you to see the whole interfaces, all of them. Ugly in the sense I really mean it, sir, because SQL Server used to look pathetic earlier. Very, very bad.
GUI was different,
Oh,
very
God,
different.
totally crazy, totally different. And you will see all that transformation. I want you to experience all that. So just watch all. So hardly, okay, chalo, 2-3 sessions will get wasted, max to max. 2-3 sessions will get wasted, but that's okay, worth of wasting. Because you never know, whenever you join the next job, sir, maybe in your company you have 2005. Maybe in your office you have older versions, who knows? So, sir, we still have 6.5 in our office, 6.5 version, we still have. We'll talk. It's a long journey, so we'll just talk. Thank you. Talk to you tomorrow, sir. Same time, same place. Signing off. Have a fantastic day.
Sure.
Bye.
Bye-bye. See ya.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Good day.
Bye. 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 Bye.